band together, and it's very easy to shut them down. Very easy to shut them down because with a very small number of people. Yesterday there was only a small handful of them, and by standing in front of the band, and there was one hole they were working on, and I stepped into that hole, and that shut them down. With a very small number of people, you can effectively block their operation because they block their heavy equipment, they can't dig anything, and that's how it's done. So with a bit of unity, putting together, this can be stopped, the installation can be stopped. And the other important thing that we usually talk about at these meetings is the non-payment element of the campaign, because non-payment is the key thing that's going to break Irish water. Whatever about meters, it's important to stop them being installed for the various reasons, because of the shoddy job they do, the terrible workmanship, and just the principle of not having the meter installed. There's safety issues around the meters themselves, but it's non-payment which is going to sink Irish water. So Gregor there, he can speak a bit about non-payment maybe later on. Is there any more questions? There's lots of people here. We've been experienced now the last few weeks. In Finson's Park, we shut them down completely. They didn't get any meters done. They came in one day and not a single meter was installed. The day previously they were in for about half an hour. By the time 4 activists got there, shut them down. They only got a very small number of meters there. Encasement Villas across from Baker's Corner, shut them down. 3 days they came back and we had them shut down the whole time. And in other areas now, Ballybrack, Monkstown Farm, Hillsview, the list is going on and on now. This group here and all local residents from each area have come together and shut them down. So, have you any questions, or anyone else here as well? Any stand the hole. What happened last night? What happened yesterday? Your man was there with the shovel, and I just walked up and said, "How are you?"
Jason, there's the stone.
Put the shovel down and he put the barriers back together and walked. And as soon as he was gone, then I just hopped out with the barriers in front of the truck. So it's that, you know, in this area they've been very, they haven't put up any, you know, it hasn't got big, you know, the workers haven't tried pushing in on you.
Hey, how you doing?
So it's been that simple. And that's if they get to that stage. Ideally, with the group that's here now, there's a good number of us here tonight, ideally they wouldn't even get to that stage, because if someone spots them, puts out the text, rings the number on the posters and the leaflets that we put in yesterday. So ideally they'd be in the area and they'd be shut down before they even get the tickets. But if it does get that far, it's that easy. You walk out and they came in on what day's today? Friday. So they were in on Wednesday, and I suppose it was only
we only got the leaflet in on Wednesday to say that they were in the area.
That's what they do.
Yeah, they were going to be in within the next 2 weeks.
They put in, I didn't count how many, but they got it.
Yeah, I think that the important thing, as Cormac was saying there, is that everybody has phone numbers, and that you know, if you look around here tonight, see who off your own road, your own cul-de-sac is here, and anybody that's not, that you can knock into over the next couple of days and say, look, will you be around on Monday or on Tuesday if they come back? So, like, for example, as you were saying, if they're outside your house, if you know a house you can knock on straight away that the person's going to come out, obviously that gives you 2 people out, one in front, one behind, on the phone to the phone number that Phil has. The text then can go out to everybody else.
Well, even if it's not my house, you can still stand there.
Even if it's not your house, if you see them anywhere, go out and stop them, and that's the key thing. You're a resident of the area, and that people back each other up and support each other. And I mean that's what's happening in the other communities. People come in, help people get it off the ground. But at the end of the day, the only people that can stop them are the people that are in here. Right? And so you yourself, there's a great turnout with the meeting here tonight. So there's a great bunch of people here now to start it. Making sure that before you leave here that you have people's phone number that's on your own street or whatever, so that you can, like as you said, if someone sees them, and all you need is 2 or 3 people to go out and start and get the ball rolling, and then other people come out and help them, you know?
It's that thing, as Gregor said, it's not just thinking about, you know, I'll worry about my little stop cock and take everyone else. It's that community spirit coming together again. Like that's been one of the great spin-offs or byproducts of this, is that suddenly you see neighbours talking to each other again, whereas for a couple of decades now the message has been only worry about yourself. You know, neoliberal model that we had rammed down our throats for so long. Now you see people actually caring for each other, talking to each other, people bringing out cups of tea, sandwiches, like the community spirit, wherever we've been, the community spirit has been absolutely brilliant.
Somebody has to be nominated to make a pot of curry.
Pot of curry, yeah. This man, I believe John here's a good cook.
Yes. How long does it take to put the
About 10 minutes.
No, they have the box there, so the quick job.
Yeah.
They have to break down.
The process of actually digging and that. They can
Yeah.
knock down a few.
15 minutes if they have to break it out. They work them in a system. One fella breaks it out, the other fella picks it up, and then the sucker comes, sucks it up. The other fella comes along, puts spots in. I've seen them put 8 metres in the space of a half an hour up in Watson.
Yeah, they move
That's how
quick.
quick they are.
Just to say as well, my name's Karl Gill, I'm a local councillor at the East office. It's probably been about a year now, almost, across the country there's been waterside protests in the States where people started on the north side, given across Cllr to Dublin and in Cork, and in some estates, in particular on the north side, in a place called Edenmore and then Cork and Cove, it's been very successful. Irish Water have actually turned away and have given up, and they said that we've tried a number of times to get into these particular areas and we haven't been able to, so they've turned away and they've given up on that. I think that's quite possible for us to do it here. We've turned them away from basement, from Clinton Villas, from Stonebridge, from Crush Terminal, and Grey. All in the last couple of weeks we've turned them away from there once, and they will be back and we'll do it again. And we've established networks in these places as well. And I think Cormac Troy as well, there on the coming weeks in particular.
No, don't. And can I have another?
The next big thing will be non-payment. You won't get rid of the water charges, you won't get rid of Irish Water just by stopping them coming in and putting meters in. It's only one small part of the campaign. But as Cormac said, the key part of it is that we're bringing people together over it, and it's agitating against Irish Water. And we can use those networks for other things as well. Like, this is the Mackintosh Pk against the water charges or whatever, to do it again. But another thing as well, that the reason people might know that the government have made a load of concessions recently on the charges and on how much they're going to charge people. They've rolled back and made a serious number of concessions. The only reason they've done that is because of the campaign, and people would have said years ago, even recently, even about a year ago, sure, what will protesting do anyway? The Irish don't protest, and even if they do, it doesn't get us anywhere or anything like that. But it's quite clear that it has worked because they've been rattled by it and they've made rollbacks on it. So it's quite clear that we can actually push them even a bit further. The meter charge won't come in until 2018. That's after the elections. It'll be a different government. So I think it's quite clear we can win. This is the biggest campaign we've had in generations. Hundreds of thousands of people have taken to the streets. And I think that's another key part of the campaign is the large demonstrations in the city centre, which are mostly been organised by the Right to Water campaign as a big, broad umbrella group, which that's what people before profit are affiliated to. And the next big one of them is on the 21st of March, so we'll be asking everybody to come into the city centre on the 21st of March. They think that they've hit a blow against the campaign by arresting people, by making people go to court, by trying to drive a line between the campaign, say there's good protesters and bad protesters. That's actually not the case, and we hope that people aren't buying that, and that we'll show them on the 21st of March that people aren't buying it by having a big presence. So, just to say, I mean, this has been a community organised event, as Cormac has said, not aligned to any political party or anything like that, but if people are interested, I've got a sign-up sheet for the Right to Water campaign, which is on a national level. If people want after the meeting to leave their details to keep in touch with what's going on a national level as well, I've got this here if people are interested.
Can I just say, as Karl just said, the campaign, what we're organising around meters and around protests and all the rest, completely community-based. We take support from any political party that wants to give support to community-based. The Facebook pages that are the Dean's Crimes Against Water Charges pages, all the information about the Right to Water process, etc., are all included in that as well. So people have given the contact details. Obviously, if people want to give contact details again, they can do, but it seems a bit pointless to send around 2 contact sheets at one meeting of this size. I mean, and given that what we do as community campaigns is that we do fully cooperate with all the national campaigns, and we've been supporting them all, and they're on the defaults and all the rest. So the really key thing is that people here getting organised, support then can come from everywhere and anywhere that can give it. Getting ourselves organised here and then supporting other people around about as well. Community protest that these groups are put together is on the Saturday the 7th of March in Dun Laoghaire from the People's Park, a march around Dun Laoghaire. It's really important to get big contingents from all the different local areas around Dun Laoghaire to that. And we want to make it a real family-friendly event, so people with kids and all the rest there, to show that this is an issue that's affecting everybody and affecting the future of our kids. And this, as Karl said, the 21st of March, then the big one in town. Tomorrow, there's we go on a protest every week if you want, but I mean, sort of war has been declared to some extent on us, and it is important that we support all these protests. Tomorrow, there's a very important protest at 2 o'clock, going from the Central Bank out to Mountjoy to show solidarity with the 5 people who were jailed by the High Court yesterday. It's going to march out to Mountjoy, yeah. So that's leaving the Central Bank at 2 o'clock tomorrow. So if anybody can make that, it'd be really good to show solidarity with that as well, you know. And the key thing is getting ourselves organised, getting ourselves focused, and basically that if they arrive back in here on Monday morning or on Tuesday morning, they're held here for the day, and then they're marched out. And like what happened yesterday was to hold them here until 5:30. And then when they're leaving, they're marched slowly out of the area, they're waved goodbye and told not to come back. And to be able to organise that, and if you can even get to the stage, because what has worked really well in the other communities has been when the kids come back from school, get the kids out playing around, it shows that everything that we're organising is peaceful. And then at the end of the day, when they're being marched out, that it's led by the kids of the area, saying, look, it's their future that's being protected, you know. So really making it a family focused and a community focused thing is what's important, and it gives us that whole sense of solidarity.
Do you think finishes 5:30?
Well, if you have them locked in here, they can finish whenever you decide they're going to finish.
Right, okay. So they can't stay longer than that time, or
They can.
I've seen it's 7:30 and some of them.
Yeah.
It all depends on the peak there, aren't you?
They can work until half. They can by their work permit thing allows them to work till 7:30.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But they usually finish at 5:30. But if they're being horrible and nasty, then you have the power over them. Say, well, we're going to keep you sitting here until.
It's on our terms. It's not on, you know, we don't. They don't dictate it to us. We're the people. We stand shoulder to shoulder. We have the power, not them. And that's how we'll win. This is each of us individually coming together to fight for our families and fight for our community. And we hold the power, not them. You know.
They start up, in my case, on Thursday, but they only stay there for an hour or two on Thursday morning. And as far as I can see, they only got 1 metre in. And I checked again this morning, and they went back this morning. Up the next bridge, Clonkeys.
Alright, yeah.
So maybe they mightn't turn up on your doorstep on Monday. They might come back up.
Do you have the contact numbers?
Yeah, well, I go onto your page every so
Alright,
often.
okay. Yeah, well, just it's important that everybody keeps that 089 number, even just save it in your phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing,
I don't have that, no.
it's on the bottom of the poster there.
It's a help number.
It's connected to all the local Facebook pages from Blackrock to Dalkey.
Oh, okay.
So when you ring up, it goes through to Phil.
Is it? Yeah.
It goes through to Phil, and then once Phil gets it, then she puts it up on all the pages. She has access to every one of the pages. So everyone that's around that's available will come and help. It's important that you keep that number. Yeah. You see, and the other thing you could do is maybe not people a couple of the residents there. They don't want no. Really, all of them.
Anybody have a phone?
Alright, well maybe if you like we could try again. We could maybe a couple of us could call up.
New people and younger families, and then a lot of elderly people.
Alright, okay.
You know, so
The elderly people are
you
If you want to do any door knocking, I've done door knocking a good bit of it. Sometimes on your own, it's a bit.
Oh jeez, I did the property section on my own.
Alright, you're not easily daunted, so that's alright.
No, I need somebody to go with me.
Well, we can, if you want, hang on there and give us your number, and we can organise to come with you and do a few knocks on doors. And it's worth asking again, if nothing else. At least then you've tried, and you never know, there might be 1 or 2 people up there.
There might be 1 or 2, yeah. But
the same in Irish
easier when you're not on your own.
You need a resident out. Because if you don't, you need a resident out when Irish water come in. We can stop them, but the resident has to come in, because when the guards come along, they'll ask you if you're a resident. If you say no, they tell you to get lost.
So if you have a resident there, say no, but the resident is here, so then you're all right. But if
You don't have to be a resident in that particular house, do you?
no, if you're in the area, you're a resident in the area,
the estate
you're
or
okay.
And the coasters in the windows are important because if they come along, if Irish Water come along, they try saying, say you're out, for example, and they try saying, oh well, she said she wants a meter. Well, if you have a poster stuck in your window, then that gives anybody the authority. Sorry, Mackentosh Pk, I didn't mean to. Just, having the posters up, because then it gives the message to everybody else as well. And people see, well, I'd be stupid to be saying this, because everybody else is not.
I usually ask them, the first thing I ask them is, did you knock on the door and ask the woman, or the people, did they want a meter? And if he says, oh, there was no one in, I'd say, well, go try again, or I'll go and knock. And then if the person says, no, I'll come back out and say to them, you need to stop there now because you're not going any further, they don't want it. And once one resident says it, it gives us
Power,
the power to go ahead and stop all the trucks, all the work, everything.
The other thing is, there's one of them in your window, and they're trying to put one in. I'd have no problem standing on your shore and you come home from work. Stop them doing it, like.
And the other thing as well, sorry, go on.
Sorry, my husband packed the van over it as close as he could. And we tried to position it that it's in front of the gate so that it's our access, but we're not really supposed to be on the path, we're not.
No, technically you're not.
So they could call
If
the
you think
guards
you
and
get
tell
away,
us,
well,
move it.
the worst the guards are going to do is tell you to move it, really, I think. Unless you refuse to move it, then they'll give you a fine.
And Phil does some signs up.
That if a wheelchair came along, then they can't blame you on anything, do you know what I mean?
But that alone won't help. We've seen them try to dig under a car.
So it's about that taking that collective action, and it might be. It's also important to say as well. Well, I know going back over the years, Mackintosh doesn't exactly have the name as being full of shrinking violets, but you know, standing in front of a big lorry or jumping in a work hole might not seem like the most natural thing to some of you, and like even doing this sort of stuff or these kind of antics, like I'm not a particularly outgoing fella myself, so I had to push myself, but once you do it, it's amazing the confidence you get, you know, you just get that drive to do it, and you see some of your neighbours coming out and standing together. It's amazing that strength, and I keep saying it, and I don't mean to repeat myself, but that strength and unity, and that strength of just fellow community members standing together, it's brilliant. It's brilliant, and it's amazing what you can achieve, and it's amazing the strength you find within yourself as an individual. You know, you don't have to. I keep saying, and I'm sure Karl as an elected rep won't mind, but you don't need to turn to the politicians or whatever. It's the strength to win this is here in this street now. Us all standing together. That's what will beat this, and that's what will bring victory. That's what will destroy Irish Water, and that's what will eventually bring us, and it'll challenge the status quo as well. They're worried at the moment, you know, because there's an awakening happening here, which it's long overdue, but you know, people are starting to wake up and stand together, and it's brilliant to see, you know. So, go on, Mackintosh, there's lots of work to do.
And the thing about pure here protesting, but in the long run, most people in Mackintosh are getting on in age. So that kind of makes it a very small amount of protest.
And
cannot get back out of things.
And that's
getting in their 80s now.
And that's the thing.
And I think people are very nervous. They're scared of the government, and they're scared of the work with them. And this all comes in there, and they will pay, but they're scared of their life.
And that's the thing where the idea, because it's the same thing on the other side of Dean's Grange where I'm from in Rockford, and in all of the estates there is, I suppose they were all built around the same. Is this from the 60s, is it? Mackintosh 60? Rockford is from 66, I think. Finton's Park is even earlier. So all of these estates in Dean's Grange have a very ageing population, so that's why it's all the more important that as to use the name Dean's Grange Against Water Charges, that inter-community solidarity. So it's the streets standing together, it's the estates standing together, and then it's Rockford Park standing with Mackintosh. If they're in Mackintosh, that I come up and stand with you, and if I can get anyone else to come up, if they're down in Rockford Park, it'd be great to see some of you coming down to us. So by pulling together, that's, as you say, because in other areas,
I've been scared by that.
we've been up, say, for example, in Ballyogan or
but these are the ones that will pay.
Well, I suppose that's where you can have the conversation.
I think that's a good thing to raise, because there will be people that'll be worried and scared and feel they might pay, but the best people to convince them not to do so are the people that are standing around here, the people that they know, their neighbours. I mean, me knocking on doors of someone I don't know, trying to convince them, has a certain amount of effect. So you knocking on the doors or chatting to people along the street that you know saying, look, I'm not going to pay it, you shouldn't pay it, and we all stand together, we have that bit of strength. That has much more effect. And just even saying to people that are worried about it, that they're risking very, very little from now to July of next year. They won't, if they don't pay the bill, they won't get back the €100 that they're supposedly given in a conservation grant in September. Now I doubt if anybody's ever going to see that, but they won't get that, and the bill will go up by an extra €30. So that's all they're risking from now to July of next year, is €130. So just putting it that way to people, that it's worth their while sitting on it until July of next year, and even then assessing at that stage as to whether they think they should pay or not, because at that stage we know whether we've managed to convince sufficient numbers or not. You know what I mean?